Welcome to the Instagram Stories. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. The Instagram Stories is the only daily news update where we obsessively talk about Instagram news. If you're not obsessed with Instagram news, why would you be listening to this show? Every Friday, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, does an Ask Me Anything on his Instagram story where he answers all kinds of questions. Frequently, he does not answer my questions. That's only happened one time. We'll talk about that some other point. But this week, he talked all about the Metaverse. If you're not familiar, Facebook is changing their name to Meta, and they're going to be focusing on the Metaverse, which is going, you know what? I'm going to let him explain it. Here are the questions and answers.
So this week's questions are going to be all about the Metaverse. This week, we announced at Facebook that our new name as a company is Meta and walked through a lot of our plans about what a more immersive internet will be like. So I'm going to focus on that.
Okay, I'm going to jump around in the order of which he answered the questions, but the first one that I think is important to start with is, what is it / can you explain more about it? This is a tough one because it doesn't actually exist yet, but here's the explanation about what the Metaverse is.
I should have started with this one, but you can think of the Metaverse as a more immersive internet, one that you access instead of through a flat screen, through other technologies that allow it to feel more real, like you're in it, not on it.
I think the way he described it is very good. With what we have now, like browsers such as Safari, Chrome, Firefox, you can get on the internet. But with the Metaverse, you will be in the internet. And I think that's a key differentiator. Remains to be seen how that will actually look and function. Next question. Does this mean Facebook will own the Metaverse? Which is actually a good question.
This is a great question. The answer is no. The Metaverse is too big a thing for any one company to build. I actually think the biggest risk is that it's going to be heavily fragmented and these different worlds will not be integrated. You won't be able to bring your identity or your things from one to the other. So we want to build a more open Metaverse.
Facebook and Instagram have historically not really been open at all, so looking forward to seeing how that changes and develops. Next question. Do you have to have a Quest headset, an Oculus Quest headset, to go into the Metaverse? Here's the answer.
For the foreseeable future, I think the primary way people will get to these worlds, if we can call them that, is through phones. I think that's going to be how things go for a while before headsets and glasses and all these other technologies advance.
I was actually a little bit surprised by that answer because if you're not familiar, Facebook owns the Oculus Quest. I think they bought the company a few years back, so I would have thought that would be the direction you go through, but surprising to see it's going to be through a phone. Next question. Will there be creators in the Metaverse?
Absolutely. Creators are going to create most of the things in the Metaverse and on the internet more broadly, not companies. Whether it's virtual worlds or virtual goods or virtual clothes or even just digital art, creators are going to be making the bulk of it.
Okay, if this is a shift that gives more power to the creators and less power to the platforms, frankly, I am all for it. Next question. Does Meta make it easier for creators to earn, and how?
It's certainly going to open up a world of new opportunities, from digital goods to experiences that maybe you can pay for, that creators can curate or make. And before you roll your eyes, think about things like how much people spend on goods and games or Top Shots with the NBA.
Next question. Can you give an example of what it will be like to use Instagram in the Metaverse? This is a tough question since, like I said, it doesn't exist yet.
There are lots of things we can imagine. We don't really know where we'll end up, but here's one. You ever see someone go live at a concert? Imagine you could just be there too, or at least feel like you were there too. And they could feel like you were there with them and you're watching it together.
That to me is the most interesting and powerful part of what we're talking about. When you think about the challenges that happen, not only when there's a global pandemic, but also just in traveling in order to be at events or meet up with friends, to be able to feel like you're there without actually having to do that travel, I think that's the really powerful part. Okay, let's do a silly question. Can I be a panda in the Metaverse? Why would you not want to be a panda? Here's the answer.
Honestly, long term, I think you're going to be able to be whatever you want in the Metaverse. And that is super exciting and also really concerning. So I think we're going to have to think through what that means from an accountability perspective, from an expression perspective, from a safety perspective.
And the last question, I think you were thinking this question anyway. Did you change the name because of the recent bad press? Great question. Here's the answer.
No, we didn't. We are way too big, unfortunately, to change our name in a handful of weeks. We've been working on the rebrand for about 7 months now. Honestly, it's not a great time to launch a rebrand given all the scrutiny, but we think it's important to keep moving forward, and so we did that.
Okay, that's it for today's show. I hope you guys like when I bring in this audio. I try not to just make it me ranting or giving my opinion, but actually giving you context of what the other people inside Facebook and Instagram are saying, and then I get to add my 2 cents on top. If you like this, come back tomorrow. I'm going to be doing more Instagram news like I do every day, and here's the rap song to close us out.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks of Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently. Until they let me run my team and start to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacy. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.
Oh, I'm going to have a new episode of my podcast, the Instagram Stories Podcast. Come back tomorrow to check that out. You might have already hit your podcast app, so maybe look for that, the Instagram Stories Podcast, wherever you get podcasts.